The Falklands are made up of approximately 740 islands located in the South Atlantic, 400 miles off the southeast coastline of South America. You may know about the islands due to the conflict back in 1982, but the Falklands is so much more than that and has a lot to offer. It has beautiful landscapes that make you feel like the only person on the planet, incredible wildlife to rival Antarctica, and a playground for people who enjoy exploring and adventures. Whether you're into off-roading in 4x4s or dirt bikes, surfing alongside penguins, kayaking next to dolphins or hiking to isolated beaches, the Falklands really is a place that should be on your bucket list. The weather can be extreme, and it's not unusual to have 4 seasons in one day, but amazing sunsets are a frequent sight around the island. I've not been everywhere in this extraordinary place, but I've given it a good try. The red circles on this map are just a few of the sites I've visited, so I feel I'm relatively qualified to show you my top 10. So here goes. Number 10, climb Mount Harriet. Take a drive down the Darwin Road and you will reach Mount Harriet, located just outside the capital of Port Stanley. Not the most challenging of mountain climbs, but once you reach the summit you are greeted with incredible views, a striking summit cross, and a memorial dedicated to the 2 Royal Marines who were killed in action on this very site. Nearby you can also find Boot Hill. Legend has it that if you leave a boot here, you will return to the island again one day. Number 9, CARCASS Island. Don't be put off by its name. This beautiful island is located in the northwest of the Falklands archipelago and accessed via ferry or helicopter. What blew me away when I arrived was the sight of the bright yellow common gorse flower with its strong coconut scent. The wildlife is another reason to come here. Gentoo and Magellanic penguins populate the beaches alongside the ever-charming and somewhat ill-mannered elephant seals. If you're feeling adventurous, you can take a hike along its rocky ridges, or if you'd prefer a more relaxing stroll, it has plenty of gentle slopes and beaches to walk along, where if you're lucky, you may spot whales and dolphins. Number 8, 4x4 to a remote beach. A 4x4 really is the best way to get around the mainland due to its rugged terrain and dirt roads. But if you want a real adventure, going off-road is a great way to do that. You'll probably have to get the permission from the landowner, but you won't be disappointed with the fun you'll have navigating across the challenging terrain. Just hope you don't break down, as I don't think the AA will come to your aid if you end up in a spot of bother. The rewards are worth it though, as you can find yourself on isolated beaches with crystal clear waters, golden sands and colonies of penguins that rarely see humans. This beach was at Ball Point, which can be accessed off-road from North Arm. It really did feel like I was in an episode of Blue Planet, and I wouldn't have been surprised to see David Attenborough and a film crew on the same beach. Number 7, Bodie Creek Bridge. Built in 1925 with the intention of shortening the distance for transporting sheep between southern Lafonia to the shearing sheds in Goose Green, it is one of the most southernmost suspension bridges in the world and is also featured on the 37p stamp. Sadly, you can't actually cross the bridge anymore as it's fallen into disrepair, so go see it whilst it's still holding up, as I'm not sure how much longer it has left. Having said that, it has been battling the elements since the 1920s, so fair enough. Number 6, explore the West Island. Take a ride on the Concordia Bay ferry, which runs from New Haven on the East Island to the second largest Falkland Island in the South Atlantic. Enjoy spotting birds and playful dolphins as you cross the channel. You'll land in Port Howard, which has roughly 30 residents compared to the whole island, which has around 150. You can find some interesting war relics in this quirky settlement, and only a short drive away you can find the crash site of an Argentinian plane which was shot down during the war. If you're looking to get away from it all, then the West Island is a great place to do that. With its small settlements, rugged hills and great hiking opportunities, it really is the perfect place to escape. Renting a homely cottage for a few days is a great way to unwind. This one was only £40 a night and it came with a private beach and a cute ginger cat for company. I highly recommend taking the 2-hour hike around the bay at Port Stephens to the penguin colony on the other side of the hill. Along the way you can see dolphins in the bay, curious caracaras, and when I was there in November, I was lucky enough to see what must have been day-old Gentoo chicks. It really did feel like I'd stumbled upon a lost world, with hundreds of nesting gentoos and a few king penguins too. I was the only person there, and I reckon it had been a while since anyone else had been there too. I'm pretty sure I was the first human those chicks ever saw. Number 5. Bertha's Beach. Named after a shipwrecked sailing vessel called Bertha, Bertha's Beach is an approximately 4-mile long white sandy beach and is located roughly 5 miles southeast of Mount Pleasant Airport. It is an important bird area with many different species. Colonies of gentoo penguins are found here, and if you are lucky, you might see leopard seals, fur seals, and it's not uncommon to see commersons and Pill's dolphins enjoying themselves surfing in the waves. It's not just the dolphins who find this a great place to surf. Consistent clean waves makes this a great spot for surfboarders too. Just make sure you have a good wetsuit, or if you're feeling brave, you can take a dip without one like I did here. You might even be joined by a curious penguin, which happened to me on this occasion. It's well worth taking a hike up the beach in both directions from the car park, as this is where you'll find the gentoo penguin colonies. It's also another great opportunity to spot other wildlife as you're walking along the way. Number 4. Explore Stanley and its surrounding areas. Capital of the Falklands, Stanley has a population of around 2,500 people and has striking colourful roofed houses. You might be forgiven for thinking you're in the British Isles, with its traditional British red telephone boxes, post boxes, and even a statue dedicated to Margaret Thatcher. But you'll soon realise that you are not once you've visited the surrounding beaches that are populated with Magellanic penguins, also known to the locals as the jackass penguin. This is due to the donkey-like noises they make. They also nest in burrows in the surrounding grassland. For almost 40 years, the beaches of Gypsy Cove and York Bay have been off limits due to landmines. But as of November 2020, the Falkland Islands is declared landmine free and people can now walk freely on the beaches alongside the penguins again. The beaches around Stanley really are beautiful, including Surf Bay, which funnily enough is another great spot to surf. Be sure to visit the southernmost Anglican cathedral in the world named Christchurch Cathedral. With its whalebone arch, it's a great opportunity for a photo. A short hop away is a huge totem pole. It started with British troops creating mock-up signs of their hometowns and their distances from the Falklands, and then attaching it to an old power line pylon. It's quite fun trying to see if you can spot your own hometown. Cape Pembroke Lighthouse is well worth a visit too. It stands on the easternmost point of the Falklands and is a great place to spot sea lions and passing boats. Another boat not to be missed is the Lady Elizabeth, a shipwreck located in Whalebone Cove, which really is a sight to see. Number 3. Volunteer Point. Accessed overland or by helicopter, Volunteer Point, which is named after a ship, is best known for its largest breeding group of king penguins of the islands, but other species can be found here too. The peninsula, located in the northeast of East Falkland, has a beautiful white sand beach and is situated in a privately owned nature reserve and an important bird area. King penguins are quite curious, and it's not uncommon to find yourself up close with them. The juveniles are quite amusing to watch with their big fuzzy feathered brown coats, and when they start to molt, they can look a bit dishevelled to say the least. The Falklands is a very scenic place. I think Volunteer Point is one of my favourite spots for photography. The combination of white sand, turquoise waters, amazing light and some very photogenic subjects make for some of my all-time favourite photos. Number 2. Saunders Island. The fourth largest island of the Falklands is located in the northwest of the archipelago. Named after an 18th century British admiral called Sir Charles Saunders, it was also the site of the first British settlement. Most people arrive to the island by plane or helicopter, and there are 3 options for accommodation. I love this island for its huge beach, also known as the Neck. When I visited, it was scattered with so much wildlife, from king penguins, caracaras, and one lone leopard seal to name a few. I even watched as caracaras and petrels tried to steal eggs from nesting gentoos. Further up the hill from the beach was a huge colony of rockhopper penguins, named for the way they hop from place to place. These guys are not fazed at all by humans and would happily walk right past you, unlike the shy Magellanic penguins that seem to scamper away on their bellies if they feel threatened. Further round the hill is a large colony of albatross. It's a great place to see them glide across the skies with their huge wingspans. If you're looking for a place with a great mix of wildlife with huge colonies of penguins and albatross, plenty of places to explore and several options for accommodation, then Saunders Island really is a great place to visit. And at number 1, Sea Lion Island. Located on one of the most southerly islands in the Falkland archipelago, Sea Lion Island really is a mecca for wildlife and is well and truly off the beaten track. The best way to access the island is by plane. It has a homely lodge in which I urge anyone to book a few days stay. The lodge was opened in 1988 by the youngest son of the famous Antarctic explorer Sir Ernest Shackleton. You won't be disappointed. As soon as you walk out from the lodge, you are immersed in the diverse and heavily populated wildlife. It has the largest breeding site of the southern elephant seals, and there are penguins galore along with many other bird species. I even saw the elusive macaroni penguin. But the biggest draw for me were the killer whales. I was lucky enough to have several visits from them during my stay, and blessed to see them from only a few metres away. The adult orca would teach their calves how to hunt for seals in a small inlet which was accessible from the beach and a short walk from the lodge. I was even fortunate enough to see them breach after a feeding frenzy. Just don't get too engrossed by the spectacle, as you may have to navigate your way through the numerous fighting elephant seals in the dark like I did. Trust me, it's a very scary yet thrilling experience when all you can hear and make out are the towering elephant seals crashing their heads together as they fight for dominance over their female harems. It's a memory and an experience that I'll never forget. And there we have it, my top 10 places to explore in the Falkland Islands. I'm sure there are many more amazing places I've yet to explore that are well worthy of adding to the list, so I'd love to hear some of your suggestions. Thanks for watching, and I hope this has inspired you to get out there and explore the islands.